Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We are joined by our special guest, Bim the cat. Okay, so I was just trying to start a video, and then he came up here, and so I'll have to go over what I was going over. So this is just a sideways view of, come on cat, come on, you gotta lay there, alright, you lay there. It's a sideways view of the ship, alright? So what I did, it's just a submarine, right? I built a submarine, had a nuclear powered submarine. This is what it looks like inside. We'll explore it. You come in here, main area, blah blah blah, electronics, kitchen, blah blah blah. Let's explore. Alright. So when we're getting shot at by the computer, let's turn the daylight on. We need to go under the water, and the only way to go under the water is with a submarine. This thing's quite big, but it needs to be. So yeah, so that's the submarine there. It goes down. It should anchor. Those controls haven't been set up yet. I'll do that later on. Right now, what I'm trying to focus on is just getting all the equipment, figuring out how it's going to work. So, essentially, this cradle here has to go to the surface because we're going to be so deep that the pumps on the ship aren't going to work. So what we need to do is draw from one of the slurry tanks into the pump, and then from the pump, how's this gonna work? From pump needs to go. This would be the out. It'll have to go to there, maybe? Yeah, it'll have to go to there. No. Can't go there, that has to be connected to there. Where does it exit this, oh, right there. Might end up turning that into a winch, actually. Maybe we'll do that. Pinch your tail. Okay, so that'll go there. That goes into the winch, which then goes up to the surface, which then comes back down into this winch, which then goes into this chamber here. So ideally, this one's not going to have slurry in it, and this one is going to have slurry in it, and then we're just going to use that to drill. The only issue with this setup is, oh no, what I said I was going to change that, right? I was going to change that. So that comes through to there. And then from here, I have it connected to there, but I'm going to change this. What I want to do is, here, let's do this. Pipe. And then we want the T. We want the T. Well, it's not even connected inside. Alright, and then alright. So one pump should be enough. What we've done is we've just created a giant loop with this pump here. This pump is going to be at the surface. When that pump turns on, it's going to start drawing through this loop, right? And then that fluid is then going to be dumped into, we have a tank here, or I have a tank here. Where is it? I think it's down here. Oh, I just missed it. So that would be, it's gonna be a little difficult here. Right on top. Yeah, it's right on top of that. And that is going to go down. Let's see, it's going to come out here, go this way, go down to there, which is going to go up to here to the surface, back down to here, and that's going to go to there. That's how that has to work. Amazing, huh? Then, because we can't use, if we use a slurry filter, it's going to have to be at the surface. Or we have to set up a pump at the surface to cycle the fluid, which means we need at least 2 more heavy winches, because these winches here only go to 150. And, you know, we want to be able to reach oil at 200 or 300. So for that, we're going to need we need the biggest winches possible. Yeah, unfortunately. So we need the biggest winches possible, because we need this cradle to be able to reach the surface, wherever that is. And we need to hope that, yeah, that's all. So there is another pump on here. I thought I might need to use it, but I don't think I do. So we can get rid of that. Now there isn't any electricity coming up to this pump. So otherwise, unless we have a third winch, right? You start to see the problem here that we have with weight and all this kinds of things. So we'll save this, and then we'll drop it in the water and we'll see how it looks. Not bad. See, I removed the winches on the front, so the back is a little heavy. So we'll need to change that. But that could also, I mean, whatever. It's just for sailing. It's just so we can sail out to the oil, and then once we anchor ourselves to the surface, to the sea floor, it'll be fine. And then I just need to see that we're balanced, that we're still balanced in here. That looks like we're listing a little bit to the left side. I wonder if that's because one of these tanks is empty. Something's up. Something is definitely up. Oh. Okay, let's do that. We should be reasonably balanced. I mean, there's a few things, microcontrollers and whatever else, that might be throwing us out just a little bit. Yeah, no, that was a bit too much weight. Alright, well, you get the idea now with the weight and stuff. What we gotta do, where's this trough working out the center of gravity? Try that. Right, then once we get it balanced, then we can connect it, everything, and it's not bad. Pretty good, actually. All right. And the last thing I was doing is I was just trying to connect the drill itself, which there isn't much to it. And that's kind of where I was going with all this. Like, With the last setup where we just planted the wellhead on the ocean floor, it worked really well. And then just being able to dive down and grab the rods and lift them into place, like it's the fastest, simplest thing we can do in the game. And so long as we can do that, that's fine. We have guns, so if the sharks come around, we can just shoot them, and everything will be good. So I think I might need spear guns actually for that. I better make sure there's a couple of spear guns on board for the sharks. There we go. So that's pretty much that. Alright, so now I think there were controls for this. But that's it. Everything else doesn't have controls. So basically we just need buttons. We just need a couple of buttons. So we'll get rid of this, and then what we want is like we need to color code them. I guess you could put them here and here. So these ones are going to be yellow. This is going to be the whatever this thing is. I don't know what it's called. The plate thing. The clamp, and then we just need to turn on the throttle. So I guess one of those should be a keypad. Like really easy. We just need like 5 or 6 controls. That's it. So this would be the table clamp, right? Which we need for drilling. And then this is going to be the table motor speed, which we need for drilling. Alright, and then we'll connect that. Oops, where are we here? Let's connect that to there, and that to there. Now it's going to tell us. Oh, it doesn't actually tell us if it's clamped. I'm surprised. I thought it would at least give us an output saying whether the rod is clamped or not. Everything else gives us an output. Oh, well, maybe they'll have to fix that. Okay, and then we also need an anchor button. Oh, I already have an anchor button? Which one is that? Number 4. Off the seat. Perfect. Okay, even better. Alright, so we have that, we have that. Now the next thing we need is the slider. So if negative is up and positive is down, so let's get a throttle. This one we'll make green. Let's see. We can even just do that. And it's going to go between -1 and 1. And we'll turn the sensitivity down to about 50%. Okay, and then what else do we need to do? We need, so that's that. We need a clamp button as well. And a connect button. So, clamp rod, connect pipe. And then what we can also do is add, can we add a light there? Not there. So this light here is turns on when the boiler is warm and you can move, and then this light here is going to turn on when we're clamped. Where is it here? So rod clamped. All right, this is connect pipe. Oh, and then we need to make sure the connector is in alignment. I guess I could do that with this, with the indicators. It's all the same, really. And then I'll repaint the blocks. Let's restart the music. I'll repaint the blocks. So, rod aligned. Rod clamp. Now, in this case, we can't move the slider. So we have to make sure that we stop drilling in this zone. In this zone here. Or else, is it that zone there? I think this might actually be backwards. I think that's correct. It needs to be in this zone here to be connected. So you just have to remember that when you're drilling, the drill will stop here. Sometimes the pipe will, I don't know why, sometimes the pipe will move out and sometimes the pipe will also slide down into the hole. I had some big problems with this. So usually what I do is I put this on a slider, but I didn't this time. So we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, anyway, so we can clamp the pipe, we can clamp the rod. It doesn't need electricity. And then this is just slider velocity, which is that. Alright, and then this connector aligned. That, and then, there we go, clamped. So now we need to do the same thing for the wellhead. Clamp rod and rod clamped, and I think that's it. We don't need the other parts because again we're going to be picking up the pipe and bringing it up to here. Right now we're limited, we can't go to exactly 300 with this setup. I'll need to put a crane on, maybe that's what I'll do, I'll add a crane on here. Could do that as well. On this side can put a crane with a pivot. That might not work. We'll have to figure something out different for those extreme depths. Because the diving suit is only good to 230 meters. So anything deeper than that, we'll have to figure out a solution. But I'm sure we'll be able to reach plenty of oil at that depth. Considering where we're going is about 200 meters. Alright, so there we go, we've got that. Right, this thing here. We just need a button to clamp the rod, and then we need a button to... where are we at? Toggle button. And then a light. So this is going to be clamp, drill clamp, and then rod. Because it just worked out so perfect in that I could just swim up to it, and it just locked into there, right? It just connected to it automatically. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I think I did use that other part, actually. The aligner, the connector, the third connector. Man, let's see here. Where are we? There we go. I think I did use one of these. Just as like, you know what I mean? An accessory to that. So, Because I remember, if I recall, just trying to pick up the pipe and lift it in here was a bit of a pain, because the pipe is going to be on an angle, and the only way this clamps onto the pipe is if the pipe is, you know, up and down, perpendicular, whatever I'm trying to say. So what we need to do is we probably are going to need a third connector. So let's see here. Let's see if we can get that in right away, and it needs to be outside of all of this equipment. There's always something. Now, if we make it like here, just has to move up and down, that's all. And we can just drop the pipe into it. We'll do this here. Because underwater at those extreme depths, there is a current. There is a current that's going to want to push the ship around. And when we're in the water, you'll see that it's going to want to push us around in the water and all that. They did add that in there. Oh, this has to have a block on it. Alright, so then for this, the slider, just like this slider is kind of different because we'll need a button for it. This one here, we need velocity. Alright, so let's do that. So we need the toggles for the slider. Oh boy. We'll do this here. Alright, so this will be oil pump up. And this will be oil pump down. Alright, and then we have oil pump up. Oh no, I didn't grab it. Yeah, I just thought submarines are a better way of handling it all. And then we're underwater, because we're going to be shot at. So I'm like, how does that work? If I'm out there in that huge ship, you know, and all of a sudden I start getting shot at. It's just too much to defend. You know, it's too much. And unfortunately, it's just too much. So we needed a different solution. And let's say I was to take a tanker out there. We'll still have to be able to defend the tanker. So and if a missile hits it or whatever, and I lose all that oil, you know, so there just needs to be a better solution, right? Now, I could convert, right? You see the size of the reactor? It's huge. So I don't know if I could convert the little frigate that I have. I'm going to save this. I'm just going to show for comparison. I just don't think there's enough room in the engine bay. See how shallow the engine bay is? So I just don't think there's enough room. Like, if I put a piston in here, the small steam pistons, I think we're using the small ones or the mediums. I think I'm actually using these ones here, the medium steam pistons. It says it'll fit. Oh yeah, just. So I might even have enough room actually to convert this over to nuclear. I just don't know. Let's see here. I just don't know if I'll be able to displace the reactor. Let's try it. So I'll load. I need basically I'm using the mobile reactor, but I'm using the steam from it. So we have this, the mobile reactor. Here, hold on. I'll move this like this. It's got to be like that, essentially. So I'll paste it. I'm just going to merge it. There we go. And we'll see. I know I have the engine in there too, but it just gives a good indication of is it possible? So it's saying that it is possible. So maybe what I'll do is I'll convert this to nuclear power. Man, that might actually be a bit better. Maybe we'll do that too. Not in this video. in the next video, I'll convert it over, but I'm just showing that. I'll have to convert it. So basically, we take the mobile nuclear reactor. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on how to build the mobile nuclear reactor. Okay? And yeah, I'm using the medium steam pistons. And basically, there, you see this is the reactor here. This one might be a little bit larger, actually. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's got 4 rods. It's the 4-rod reactor. But what I've done is I've taken everything off of the top, and I've put it here in front of it. You know, I stretched it out, right? So the reactor is here, and all the parts are here, where the other one, the reactor is here, and the parts are on top. Blah, 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 blah. So that's what we'll have to do with the next one. That's cool. Right, see, there's the rest of it there. And then what I did is I just did what I did on the big ship. I take the rod, insert rod, and the core temp, and then I just put that there. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, we have everything's going nuclear. We're going nuclear. So I guess I don't need this then. If I'm gonna make that nuclear powered, I don't need this. So we don't want to make this redundant. Man, that sucks. Let's not make this redundant. Okay, so we have that. That goes up and down, that goes up and down. Now what we need to do is the slider and the clamp. So that'll be the last set of controls. And slider up, slider down. And then, oh, we need to clamp the rod. Is the rod clamped? And then, okay, so let's see. We need a throttle. This one here could be dark orange, maybe? That's right. Let's see, this one here can be blue. And then we need a toggle. Clamp the rod. And then we need a couple of push buttons. 3 push buttons. This is going to be down. This is going to be up. And this is going to be clamp rod. And then we need a light. Holy moly, this one's got a lot to it. Then we need a light. It's kind of why I hesitate sometimes to use a lot of these parts. Because there's just, like, we need a whole bunch of buttons just to make it work. Alright, and now this is going to be between -1 and +1. Bring the sensitivity to 50%. That way we can kind of, you know, slow the velocity down. Otherwise, I have to put a switch in here. A switch. Let's see. And for the switch, I could just be here on the wall. We need 3 of them. Oh my goodness. And then we need 3 constant numbers. One is going to be 1. 1 is going to be -1. So then we have to take these values and we have to say this is the on value, and this is the on value, and then this is the off value, and then this will be the on value, and then this will be the off value. Okay, so when it goes up, there, we're getting lost in this thing. So this button is going to be rod up. This one's going to be rod down. This one is going to be clamp rod. What did I need the toggle for? I don't think I needed this one here. I think that was kind of a... No, we'll take this. Paste that. Now, that didn't affect the electricity. Nope, it did not. Okay. Then we need to take another random block, put it in there. All right, this is clamp rod, and then this is rod clamped. Perfect. So, up, down, and then we take this clamp rod. Where is that? It's going to be on this slider, which I haven't even built yet. All right, so now we can build the slider. Now we want to make sure that it's in alignment. with this. So when it goes on, yeah, so that's gonna work just like that. There we go. I should actually, we should set it up here. We should set it up here. Let's paste it there, yeah. And then that way there's no, all right, then we're gonna merge that. Because sometimes I may not be able to get that pipe exactly in there. I know we can still move it with a slider, but it's probably just better this way. Maximizing our range. Okay. Right, it's all the same. Anytime we build with oil, it's all theoretically the same. Any power. Power, 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 power. That, I don't know how I'm going to get electricity to. Maybe I'll just put a battery on it. We only need this. We only need this pump when we're drilling. We don't need it at any other time. So we can kind of, you know, I can always swim to the surface, push a button. Maybe that's what I'll do. We'll put a toggle on it. We'll swim to the surface, or close to, right? It has a range, a working range of 70. Oops. All right, so that's that. That's that. That's that. We need the slider. Back to the sliders. All right. Rod up is this one. And then rod down is this one and this one, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. All right, then the other thing we need to do is get some connectors in here. And we need to be able to unlock that part of it. I knew we needed another toggle somewhere. Maybe this will be for both sliders. And then that way I don't have to make another button. So this slider here all needs to be nailed down. All right, let's get that button. Yeah, because I had to do a lot of calibrating when I converted, when I was added the steam pistons to this. There's a lot to it, so that's why it got me thinking. Maybe what I'll do is now is I'll make a video and then. But I didn't want to make that little ship redundant. I honestly didn't think I could fit the reactor in it. But now that I see I can, I'm just gonna make it nuclear powered. So then, in the case of that, if we're just gonna make it nuclear powered, then we don't technically need to have the refinery, even though I have a submarine refinery now. And we could just take the oil and sell it. That could just be the volume trade on oil. That could work. Or we should still be refining it and selling it. Yeah, that'll work. Perfect. Right, I guess the other thing too is the speed. I don't necessarily know if we can get enough torque out of, because you can only get so much out of that as well with steam and all that sort of stuff. So that's something we'll have to look at, right? Is converting it to nuclear power. We might have to sacrifice top speed. I don't know if I'm willing to do that yet. But I'll know because this submarine is nuclear powered, and if I can get this submarine to go fast, the other ship is smaller, I think. This is 34,000. And the other ship weighs 28,000. So slightly less. And if we put the reactor in here and the pistons, which just fit, oh man, that's going to be an exciting video. That's coming up. All right, so let's go back to, let's focus on this, the oil sub. So everything should be ready to go now. We should be able to clamp it. Let's test it a little bit. Let's test it a little bit. Then I got to get, these winches need to go out, and there's still a couple more controls that need to be put in here. I don't know what those do either. Oh, and I can't quite reach. I knew it. Okay, I couldn't quite reach that. I knew it. I'll have to change those over. Can't quite reach these ones from the seat. Huh. If we did that, I just want to know what this is doing. Nothing? Alright, let's try that. Oh, and then is there an unlock for this? That's from the seat. Alright. Oh no. Whoops. There we go. My goodness. I tried to do this last night, but I was so tired. I had fell asleep, and now I'm having to do it during the day, and I just can't, you know. Back to all the day's silliness. Okay, so we can unlock the slider. If we do that, it should... Nice. Oh, nice. Okay, so now we have to do the exact same thing for... Or do we? Perfect. We don't. What I need to do now is just connect a few more cameras to it. So we can get a little bit more data in here. I don't really know what all those monitors were doing. And then I'll be able to go out and drill. We'll finally get this thing drilling. We'll have access to oil again. Yeah, so once again, thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. I know it's been a couple of days since I threw out a video. I just wanted to throw out this video here. I'll try my best to get another one out today if I can. But there's just a lot of, you know, noise and stuff going on, and I just don't like that in the background. So I'm really sorry. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.